They might have been searching for any number of people, and they were screaming through the streets, beating up every Negro they saw on the street, sticking him with those fierce cattle prods which give you a tremendous electrical shock, not merely sticking them, but twisting the cattle prods into their flesh and telling them, "Run, nigger, run." The federal government was inactive in that situation too. Instead of taking action against the perpetrators of the crime, injunctions, federal injunctions, were gotten against those people who were demonstrating in Plaquemine. This cannot be tolerated. Of the blame for what has happened too. I heard him just a few days ago on television in which he announced that there had been so many bombings, 18 or 19 bombings in Birmingham. The FBI had been all over the place investigating, and they had not found a single culprit. And then he grinned. This seemed to me to be a clear invitation to others to try bombing. Hardly 24 hours had passed before the bomb was hurled into the church, while these children were studying the power of forgiveness, and they were blown to bits. I think, too, that the failure of the grand jury in Alabama to indict the accused murderer of William L. Moore, the postman from Baltimore and a corps member who was on his historic walk through the South, the failure of that grand jury to indict the men on whom they had a mass of evidence was a further invitation for more violence and killing in the South, because there they saw, as Governor Wallace had indicated, that the likelihood of their being caught was slim, and they saw, as a result of the inactivity of the grand jury, even if they were caught, the chances of their being indicted was very slim indeed. Now, if the federal government does not take firm action in Birmingham, and by firm action I mean sending in federal troops, this will be a clear invitation for the racists, the segregationists, all over the South to do their worst. The age of violence is not over there. What has happened in Birmingham is not ended. Only last night, as you know, a Negro youth was shot in the arm. We can expect more of this unless federal forces are sent into Birmingham. If the Army is not sent in or cannot be sent in, then U.S. Marshals must be sent into Birmingham. It is not enough for us to expect state troopers of the state of Alabama to provide protection for the Negroes there, because all of us know how the state troopers feel. We know what their sentiments are. We have seen them mounted on horses, using cattle prods to break up demonstrations. We saw them the last day of the Birmingham episode 3 months ago, when they themselves, the state troopers, were beating up Negroes on the streets. We saw them knock down the wife of Wyatt T. Walker, Executive Secretary of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. These were the state troopers. These were the same men upon which the federal government is now relying to provide protection for the Negroes of Birmingham. It cannot be done this way. No, my friends, the March on Washington was not the end. We are going to stay in the streets as long as is necessary until we have found full and equal freedom for all of our citizens, regardless of race or regardless of color. The March on Washington was really just a new beginning. There'll be other marches all over the country, north as well as south. I learned that today they are planning now for a march on Montgomery in Alabama. Marches are being planned in New York City, in San Francisco, in Los Angeles, and elsewhere. I myself will be going down to Birmingham tomorrow morning at the invitation of Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth to be present at the funeral of these kids who were killed. Now, you can help Birmingham. I think it is your duty to help Birmingham by raising funds, by voicing your protest. You can do more than that. The violence of Birmingham is blood brother to racial discrimination as it exists in San Francisco and Berkeley and all over the country. When a Negro moves into an all-white suburb in the north, they rarely throw bombs. What they do is merely pack their luggage and silently steal away. I suggest to you, my friends, that these persons, the good people, who would not think of throwing a bomb, who are horrified by the death of the kids in Birmingham, these good people with their ordinary prejudices, who move out of a community when a Negro moves in, who will fail to hire a Negro in their business, these persons are greater and stronger and stauncher defenders of the system of segregation than the canine corps of Alabama that hurls bombs. That is what they say. Then it is for your nation. It is for yourselves and your future. It is for your children. And it is for the worldwide battle for freedom that all of us must become intimately involved in the struggle for freedom now. It is not enough for you to say that you're opposed to Jim Crow. Try to study in your sociology classes about the horror of racial prejudice. It is not enough for you to issue statements. You yourselves, with your bodies and your dollars, need to be on the picket line, need to be in the marches, need to be in the sit-ins, from the Atlantic to the Pacific, from Canada to the Gulf of Mexico.
soon be free. But communism is on the rise, and Satan has a new disguise. Be careful of the commie lies, swallow them and freedom dies. The USA must realize that she's the biggest prize. Why be surprised when they retreat? Their major weapon is deceit. When will we learn? Alas, alack, it's 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. Be careful of the commie lies, swallow them and freedom dies. The USA must realize that she's the biggest prize. To find them is an awesome task. They always wear a different mask, but knowledge rips the mask away, and free forevermore will stay. We'll expose the commie lies, and truth throughout the world will rise. With evil we'll not compromise. The truth shall keep us free. The truth shall keep us free.
Right here.